Good evening. Ready to begin the Georgetown County Planning Commission meeting, Thursday, July 16th. Ready to begin. Ms. Katrina, is there any public here speaking?
No one signed up
No
for
one signed
public
up?
comment.
Okay, we'll move along with the agenda. The first item on the agenda is a request from Dan Stacy, agent for Georgetown Memorial Hospital, to rezone the Rehab Plantation Plan Development tract to a flexible design district, FDD. The purpose of this request is to create a planned residential neighborhood comprised of single-family home sites and associated amenities. The property is located at the corner of Highway 701 and Ridgefield Plantation. Okay. And we have, who have this one?
Mr. Chairman, we have a request from the
Request
applicant
for-
to defer this until
Right.
the August meeting. So we just need to vote on the referral deferral
Request
request.
to refer. All right, we have a request to defer. Can we have a motion?
I make a motion that we,
We have a motion to defer. Can we get a second?
I'll second it.
A second. Any other questions or discussion on this motion? There being none, those in favor to refer, raise your right hands. Okay, motion passed. And we have a request, item B, we have a request from Bill Murdoch, agent for ABC 098 LLC, to rezone 5 properties from general commercial to resort residential RR. The property is located on the south side of Macklin Avenue, approximately 160 feet west of Business 17 in Merz-and-Let. Okay. And we have,
Ms. Judy.
Ms. Judy has that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
Ms. Judy.
The 5 parcels are zoned general commercial and they're partially wooded and vacant. The property owner is requesting to rezone these 5 properties from general commercial to resort residential in order to develop a single-family subdivision. Zoning on the surrounding tracts includes general commercial to the east and south, general residential to the north, and resort residential to the west. Current uses include residential, commercial, and vacant land. In April of 2013, the adjacent lots to the west were zoned from general commercial to resort residential, and subsequently, a 16-lot residential subdivision was developed known as Inlet Cove. The current GC zoning allows for a wide variety of commercial uses such as gas stations, drive-thrus, restaurants, retail, garages on 10,000 square foot lots. Hotels, auto sales, car washes, animal hospitals are conditional uses. These setbacks are 50 for the front, 10 for the side, 15 for the rear, and the minimum lot width is 60 feet. The proposed resort residential zoning allows for single-family homes excluding mobile homes and 2-family dwellings on 5,000 square foot lots. These setbacks are 20 for the front, 10 for the side, 15 for the rear, and the minimum lot width is 50 feet. Georgetown County Water and Sewer provides water and sewer to this area. The owner would need to coordinate with the Georgetown County Water District for any future development or line extensions. The 5 existing lots are located along Macklin Avenue, which is a state-maintained right-of-way. Encroachment permits will be needed from SCDOT to access future development. The future land use map designates this property as commercial corridor. Surrounding place types include commercial corridor, residential mixed uses, and residential. The commercial corridor, or CC place type, is located along major transportation routes and primarily includes community or regional retail or service uses. It may also include some attached residential and mixed-use buildings. Residential density in commercial corridor place type supports approximately 2 to 4 units per acre, which is low to medium density. Therefore, the future land use map would need to be changed to residential mixed use to support this request. This property is located in an AE13 flood zone. It's shown on the flood insurance rate map dated 5/9/23. There is a riverine that extends from the inlet, crosses Business 17, and ends at the rear of the first parcel. We did have a few phone calls and emails from surrounding property owners with questions about the rezoning. the email should be on your desk in front of you. And the people that had concerns and wanted to address the commission were told to come to the meeting. The applicant included a reconfiguration plan for 10 lots. However, rezoning for this tract is not an approval for this plan. A subdivision plan would need to be reviewed by staff and the appropriate departments and/or utility agencies for approval. All rezonings must be heard and voted on through 3 readings of county council. These tracts are located in Council District 1. The rezoning request does not consider spot zoning due to the resort residential zoning on the adjacent properties to the west. The current future land use map supports loaded medium density. A change to the future land use map to RMU would be needed to support this request. Rezoning to resort residential is considered an upzoning for the property because it would increase the current residential density allowed. The current GC zoning allows for more intensive land uses for the site. I'll be glad to answer any questions, and the agent, Mr. Phil Murdoch, is here to add anything as well.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Judy. Is there any question for staff? Ms. Hanby?
Okay, so the general commercial does allow residential.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
On 10,000 square foot lots.
on 10,000 square foot lots. So the change they're asking would allow duplexes, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And there would be all those curb cuts through the bike path?
I'm not sure we haven't got to that stage yet, and there really hasn't been, he turned in this as a conceptual plan, but we haven't got to that stage, so they would have to turn in all their information to Stormwater and to DOT, and DOT may request that they do shared parking, but I'm not sure.
Okay, and I visited the property and looked at it from the boat ramp property.
Mhm.
And I couldn't determine how far this property came back because I couldn't find any survey stakes to see where the back of it was. But how close is this to that stream that's running through there?
The river, you're talking about the riverine that's there? Holly and I looked at the property, and it looks like the riverine kind of goes, that first property right there, it goes like right on the edge of it through that property.
And the map that we made that overlays the site plan on top shows a wetland line. I'm not sure from here if you can tell which one it is, but it
It's a
does
dash
have
line. I'm
that
not sure.
dash line that shows the
don't know.
wetland
I
that
can't
runs
see.
along the back of the track.
Yeah. Go back to the site plan.
So the Tito's bar and a vape shop that are on Basin 17 and would be backed up to this.
Yes.
And when I went over there to look at the property, that was god awful. I mean, there was an overflowing dumpster and a bunch of trash and mess. And then I did speak to some of the people that live in that adjoining subdivision, and they were talking about the noise that they hear where they are. I'm not in favor of this, but it's not my district. I'm not the commission member for that. Mr. Hills is for District 1, and he and I did go in there. When we walked into what I thought was the parking lot for Tito's, there's like a huge berm that's there, but it's been there for years and years and years because there's big trees growing out of it. And then it drops off very steeply to the back to that river. I'm not sure what a riverine is, but it dropped off very sharply to that water. I can't imagine how they're going to put those houses there.
Well, and they would have to be elevated somewhat based on the flood zone that's there. And again, just to reiterate, like Judy said, the applicant submitted his proposed subdivision plan. All that would have to be reviewed at the staff level if the rezoning was approved. We wanted to stress that this plan does not mean that it gets approved if the zoning is changed. It would still have to go through that process and stormwater and address the trees and address the wetlands and the new wetlands ordinance and, you know, how it affects this layout. All those things would have to be reviewed in terms, based on the requirements of the RR district.
So if it was rezoned, then the plans would not come back to the planning commission at all?
Not if it's 10 lots or less, because that's a minor subdivision that's reviewed at the staff level. Still would have all the same reviews and approvals, DOT, stormwater, go through the same process. It just doesn't need the planning commission oversight if it's 10 lots or less.
Okay. I do-
Same situation if it's, obviously, if it's developed now under the GC zoning, like you said, it could still be developed residentially. The lots would have to have a minimum of 10,000 square feet. But any use that's in GC, permitted or conditional, would be reviewed by staff under the current zoning, as would a single-family subdivision, as long as it's less than 10 lots.
Okay, and I think that somebody mentioned that they had considered putting a hotel there, but then withdrew it, or it wasn't approved, or what happened?
We did review plans for a hotel at that location, but it was ultimately not approved, I guess withdrawn, or never came to fruition. And a hotel is an allowed use in the current general commercial zoning.
And they could use all of that property in a commercial thing, or they could combine the lots and make them larger and put houses on them, correct?
Yes, they would have to combine the lots to do the hotel, obviously, because it is, like you say, separate lots today. They could put a home on each lot that exists today. Those are existing lots of record.
So they could put housing on what's there now.
Yes, ma'am. They would need to meet the setbacks, but yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Question for staff?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hill?
These may be the first lots in Georgetown County that would be deemed unbuildable by virtue of the wetlands ordinance if they are replatted. And that's something that I hope the owner will consider. I know historically this was a saltwater creek that ran back up in there before it was, somebody dammed it off right behind the bar, or in front beside the bar. What is the definition of a riverine?
I've printed it out. It's an adjective that means relating to, formed by, or situated on the banks of a river or stream. It's mostly frequently used as in scientific, geographical, and ecological context to describe the physical features, habitats, and processes tied to a flowing water system.
Yeah, I'm certainly no wetlands expert, but, I know if I owned this property, I would be very concerned about trying to replat it in light of the wetlands ordinance. But even beyond that, for what we're trying to accomplish on the Waccamaw Neck and in Murrells Inlet, this uptick in density is not a good thing. The lots, in my opinion, are way too small, and I'll come out against this myself.
Can I ask staff another question?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Okay, so what is the increased density that would be on this?
The increased density, well, you're looking at right now, one lot, or excuse me, one house per 10,000 square feet. So you're looking at probably double the increased density. And it depends on if it's duplexes, then it could be even more than that. For residential density, it is.
So the ink is almost dry on the new comprehensive plan? And so they want to propose something that's 100% increase in density? Am I hearing that correctly?
In terms of residential density, yes, ma'am, it is an increase over what single-family residential density would be allowed today. The reason we brought up the general commercial current designation is because sometimes potentially what the use could be, that use might be more intensive than individual single-family homes in terms of impervious surface, building height, parking, traffic counts, those things, kinds of things. That's really more of an intensity issue than it is a straight residential density number. But yes, like Judy said, 10,000 square foot is the limit on residential today, and this would allow 5,000 square foot lots with the potential for duplexes.
So there isn't any restriction as it pertains to the overall aesthetics of the resort that's being proposed? I mean, how would it affect what's already there? I mean, change the aesthetics of the neighborhood or anything?
I mean, they would only be restricted by the requirements of resort residential. So they would be limited to 5,000 square foot lots, and the setbacks of that district. Further, of course, they're going to be limited by, they're going to have to provide some stormwater retention, in some way on site. They're going to be restricted by the number of curb cuts that DOT will allow them on that state road that close to Business 17. Those kind of things we just don't know at this stage.
And I know we have to change, if it does pass, we have to change the future land use map to make this happen.
Yes, sir. We're recommending that based on the density difference because it's currently commercial.
Any other question for staff? Anyone? Okay, we have Mr. Murdock here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Speak now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And,
Yeah, okay, sorry.
well, I was going to say, I wanted to start off by sending my personal thanks to Dan Stacy, because when I found out we were coming behind the hospital, I told my wife I might be not there for breakfast in the morning. So so thank you, Dan, for that. I want to address a couple of things here, as I am attorney representing ABC 98, which is property owner, and this is, of course, 5 parcels. The property as it's currently zoned, which is a very, very expansive zoning. General commercial allows a lot of different uses. This was originally purchased by the property owner to put a hotel on. Those plans were mostly completed. There was never been any that I am aware of declination of any kind. The property owner stopped development given the economics of the world right now, that felt like that this might not be the best time to build a 36-unit hotel. Certainly, things have been squirrely in the last year, as we all know, and certainly can look at paychecks and everything else and realize that there's some concerns there. The economic viability of this property, of course, must be supported in order. You don't own property to own it for the sake of owning it. You got to be able to do something with it. What was planned here was 36 units, a mixture of 18 two-bedroom and 18 single bedrooms, so a total of 90 bedrooms altogether. G3 had completed, to my knowledge, stormwater had completed. When I say completed, those were not submitted for approval, but they had completed the work, and I believe that Holly had been working with them. I don't want to misspeak there. They had certainly been going back and forth with the county and getting feedback on what needed to be done. So that was the plan for this project. And that is what could still happen here as far as it goes. Obviously, would have to complete the plans, and the owner would have to decide that that is the economic nut that he wants to undertake at this point. But again, economic viability has to be there for a piece of property, and for 5 single-family homes, it's not. So in our estimation, this is not an upzoning, this is a downzoning. If we go from 90 bedrooms to 30 bedrooms, that is a significant reduction. That's a third less bedrooms, third less vehicles that would be involved. And of course, these are residences, not transient use. And obviously transient use has a much higher threshold when it comes to traffic, et cetera. It seems like from a neighbor comment perspective, I would note that somewhere, because again, there was some feedback from neighbors, which obviously you guys could read for yourself, but somewhere along the lines, there was a 20-foot lot width that some neighbors thought that we got into. I'm not sure where that came from. Maybe it was the 20-foot setback. I don't know what it was, but obviously there's no 20-foot lot. I'm not even sure what you could build on a 20-foot lot as far as it goes, but this would be 50-foot lots. It would be 10 of them. The layout where's the layout? Could we get that back? And again, the proposed layout, as Holly's pointed out, this has not been approved. This was simply submitted for purposes here to demonstrate what the plan is. It would be for 10 single-family raised houses, and similar to houses that are not only built directly adjacent and behind the property here, but all over Murrells Inlet as far as it goes. There's a tremendous number of single-family raised houses in Murrells Inlet. Now, economic viability of somebody buying the house directly behind Tito's, that is obviously a concern. But that would be a concern for that particular property owner purchasing that property, and it may have an economic detriment to it. That might be the least desirable house as far as it is in that area. Albeit, I have some fraternity brothers of mine that might think that's quite desirable after all. They can just stagger back and forth between the bar. But I do have some concerns, though, with what Mr. Hills has put forth as far as the new, I guess, wetlands delineation here. I am not familiar with that new standard. So if what I'm understanding from your comments are that the changing of this might cause an issue for the use of the property as we anticipate, then what I would request at this point is that we defer this and give us a chance to wrap our head around that, because obviously we would not want to impugn. This is about economic viability. This is not an economic viable property at 5 houses. And again, that's not necessarily your concern, but obviously what would become concern is, at some point in time, if there are 90 bedrooms here in a hotel, then people are really not going to be happy with that. But that is what's allowed as a conditional use in this zoning. And if we met the standards for that, that's what could be built, amongst other things, of a commercial nature. So we really did not consider this an upzoning. We considered this a downzoning from the current. And again, it is directly correlate with the property that is adjacent, directly adjacent behind the, it's no different than that. It's not spot zoned. So as far as it goes, that's what I'll put at this point. So I would ask Mr. Hills, if you would not mind, that we defer this. Mr. Chairman, I'd ask that as far as it goes. If you guys would be so kind as to allow us that opportunity to look at that, then we would look at it and get back with you on it.
Okay.
Could I speak?
You can speak to that, Mr. Hill.
I do think that would be a good idea from my perspective, but the density that we're looking at is going to be, I feel like is going to be unacceptable. The size of the lots, the number of lots. So if you get a handle on what your wetlands are and what that does to your, to the number of available lots, I think we would all appreciate it if you had less lots under any circumstances. But that's certainly your prerogative to bring forth whatever plan you would like. But
Again, we can certainly understand that. The only thing that I would ask, of course, is that obviously, property owner has a tremendous amount of money invested in the property, you know, and he has a lot of money invested in plans for the inn, et cetera. 10 lots would allow him to get out at basically par value, you know, and not much more beyond that. So this is not a money-making venture at this point. This would be a how do we exit out of the property? You know, so that's where we are, and it was concerned enough about what's going on in the world that he was willing to entertain that. So, but as far as it goes, if we could defer, we will wrap our hands around that, see what the delineation is, and see what that impact would be, and then we'll get back with you. And it could be maybe it's a lot, and maybe it's 9 lots, and maybe that moves the needle on both sides. I'm not sure, but we'll be happy to do that. And
Can I
I
ask
appreciate
him a
very much you
question?
bringing that up.
Yes. Ms. Hammond?
How long has the owner owned the property?
I believe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And basically from the time that it's been owned, the plans have been worked on, you know, during that time period, you know, so but I'm thinking a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
So it's not family property that's been owned for years.
No, I believe this might have been purchased from the church, but this might have been Belane property at one point. I'm not sure. So, but I believe that he is the first tier owner after whoever it is owned it for a long time. And actually, I should mention that one of the things that's come to our attention is apparently this is being used as kind of free parking out there, and that is of tremendous concern. Having been put on notice of that he will be going out and putting up more no trespassing signs, and we'll be chaining it off to make sure that it's not used, because it's not a parking lot. So somebody falls over some cinder blocks out there, gets injured, you know, they're going to pass 30 signs on the way to the hospital with a smiling attorney saying, you know, call me and I'll get you paid. You know, so we got to get that secured, and so that there won't be any more free parking out there. We can't have that. So,
Have you ever been there in the evening and seen that parking lot?
let's put it this way. I have been there in the evening at some point in my life. I don't necessarily recall all the events in question, but I don't know that I've been in that particular area back there in the evening that I recall. How was that for a good attorney answer?
Well, that speaks well of you that you weren't in that community, but at any rate, I thought it was the restaurant's
Yeah.
parking lot, the bar's parking lot, and I never realized that it was buildable.
Well, I would say, and maybe this might help with the neighbors a little bit, the partnership with this particular developer would be with a reputable home builder that has got a reputation for very fine houses. You know, so, and no duplexes planned. It would be 10 single-family residences, 3-bedroom in size. So, all right. And again, Mr. Hills, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We do. Let me hear public hearing. We do have some public hearing speaking.
We do have one
Who
person
signed up?
signed up.
Anyone sign up?
Sandra Bundy.
Yes. We have Ms. Bundy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight about this proposal. First of all, I would like to say that increase in density, as you've already discussed, is a really bad idea in this area. When you decrease your lot sizes to 5,000, you're losing the opportunity to protect any of the trees. There's going to be no way to build by protecting any of those trees that are on that site. There are wetlands back there, and that's a major drainage corridor. And if you look at what they're trying to tell you to look at, Roost Street. Roost Street, when that whole development was done, it's a larger parcel. They did it with forward-looking stormwater. Now, this is all in a flood zone. So that means they're going to bring in fill, and everything is downhill of that. I just don't see where they have the room. Several years ago, there was a new 303D listing for water quality impairments on Murrells Inlet off the boat landing. And that's where all this water flows out and into the estuary. So there's an issue there with stormwater. We're very concerned about our water quality in Murrells Inlet. And on Rue Street, that development, there was one parcel that had a curb cut on Macklin. Their cars stick out into the sidewalk. When you rezone to resort residential, you're talking about reducing parking requirements. And if anybody has been down to the Marsh Walk, you have got to know there is a huge parking issue down there. And there are many other reasons, but right now, your guide should be your comprehensive plan, and you should deny the request. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Murdoch, do you want to, any response to that? Is there any other public speak?
No, listen, I always appreciate the comments from neighbors. You know, we need parking in a lot of places, I'm afraid, which I will tell you that the property is for sale if somebody would like to buy it and put parking on it, you know, real parking on it. So that's certainly a viable option if somebody would like to do that. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Murdoch is requesting that we defer this. So we will entertain a motion to defer.
I make the motion to defer.
Mr. Hill made a motion to defer.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Long, second. Those in favor of the motion, let it be known by raising your right hand. Okay, that is deferred. Thank you. All right, we'll move on with the agenda. Next on the agenda is street names. Okay,
Yes, sir. We have just one street name for this month's meeting. It is Say Bell Way. It is part of the Oak Marsh minor subdivision in Pawleys Island that is being engineered right now by G3. And they are asking to get this street name approved. We've sent it by E911 as well as fire department, and Say Bell Way is allowable by their standards. So we're asking for it to get approved.
question, staff on the street names? Okay, the chair will make a actual motion. Street name change.
Make the motion. Grant the request.
Okay, Mr. Hill made a motion to request. Street name. Can we get a second?
Second.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the motion? There being none, those in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda is approval of our minutes for June 26th meeting. Any questions about the minutes? There, question?
No question.
No questions. There being none, Chair will entertain a motion to receive the minutes.
The minutes be accepted.
Graham made a motion to receive the minutes as accepted. Ms. Hamby second the minute. All right, those in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is our status report, which is in our packet. Okay, then we have a letter of credit report is also in our packet. And the next item on the agenda is adjournment.
I make a motion. We adjourn.
Second.
Okay, adjourned. Amen. That was